I don't even really want to go backwards onto this topic. I want to focus on the two Manchester teams and the Manchester derby. That's where I think we should be heading.
Well, that's exactly where we are.
Listen, I know where you're going with. I know where you're going with the Ronaldo, the Michael Jordan, LeBron thing. What a lot of people don't know is just how much of a big, huge NBA basketball fan you are. And one of the topics that's always been prevalent to JJ Coyle, even on Coyle's Calcio Corner, has been, the LeBron, the Jordan, and it is a topic. It's an exciting one. And the thing that's so remarkable about Ronaldo is that he's even brought himself into this conversation. But you know as well as I do that what is going to determine us as football fans, maybe Solskjaer's future, like we opened up on, is Manchester United versus Manchester City this weekend. And what I want to know is, what do you think about the derby? Because I'm excited about this one. I'm not as confident as I was going in against Liverpool, but I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good game.
I think the signs are ominous. And that's exactly why it says the last dance. I think this could be the end for Solskjaer. I know that everyone keeps saying it and it's not, but you saw what happened at Liverpool. Tottenham took 2 steps forward, and against Atalanta, it was 3 steps back. I know we escaped with the draw. I know Bailly played phenomenal, but you look at the defensive shape and what we're going to face in Man City, and I can't see us withstanding that. Even if we score 4 or 5, I think they can score 6 or 7, even without a centre forward. I think they're just going to dominate us all over the pitch. And without a Harry, maybe he's going to get the shape right. He's going to play Lindelof who can frustrate them. Let's talk about some of the Manchester City players and what you think they're going to do against us.
I think if we're going to talk about United and City this week, what I want to know is, if you had to talk about Mason Greenwood or Phil Foden as the most impressive up-and-coming youngster, who would you be thinking? If you could have a player cam on either player, who's your player cam going on and why?
Well, I think right now. Well, what about you? Where are you up to with Mason Greenwood versus Phil Foden? Who do you think's the better player right now in world football?
I thought you've just absolutely grabbed this hot potato and thrown it back on my toes. Well, do you know what, fella? It's coming home. No, jokes. Listen, I'm gonna have to talk. People think the phone's down there now. Okay, I know it's my birthday. Thank yous are gonna have to be paused. When it comes to Manchester City, I don't hate Manchester City. Like a Man United fan should probably hate Manchester City or whatever, or most Man United fans, you might be shouting at me right now, oh, bloody hell, he's not a real United fan. I don't hate Manchester City.
Roberto Mancini.
Right?
Mario Balotelli.
See.
But
But it's not that. Do you know why I don't hate Manchester City? I'm going to tell you why I don't hate Manchester City. Because I think I've always liked Pep Guardiola. I've always liked him. I know he's a bit arrogant, but I like him. Right? He's come into Manchester City, and I'm going off topic here, but I'm sorry. This is how I feel. It's a Manchester derby, and I think it's relevant. Okay? Pep Guardiola, for me, I love the fact that he has got that little bit of arrogance about him. I think all great people have a touch of arrogance about him, but he's humble at the same time. And he's come into Manchester City and he's had to change the way that they play. I think I've said this to you earlier. He's changed the way they've had to play, and he's had to make some tough decisions. Pep's not gone in there and had it all his own way, sunshine and rainbows. I know we've seen him singing Wonderwall with cigars in his mouth, but good luck to him, he deserved to.
He's had a lot of finance, to be fair.
Well, he has had a lot
but
of
he's
finance.
Made it work.
Listen, he's had a lot of finance, but you know what? I don't begrudge him, right? What did he have to do? He had to get rid of Joe Hart, the face of Manchester City at the time, the life and blood soul of the club, head and shoulders adverts, the full hit. Got rid of him. Do you know why? Because he didn't fit into his system. And he stuck with it. And what I love about Pep Guardiola, he says that it doesn't matter if you're 6'10", or if you're this, or if you're that, or if you can play football and you can fit into my system, then I'll find a place for you. And I didn't quite understand why Phil Foden, with everything that I'd heard him around Manchester, why he wasn't starting for Manchester City. And people were saying to me, oh, this guy, we can let David Silva go because we've got this kid coming through. Now, since when is a kid going to come through and be better than David Silva? When's it going to happen? The chance of that happening is very, very thin. But I watched England's under-21s versus France under-21s, and I think I saw probably one of the greatest goals I've ever seen England score in any international game. I saw this kid, Phil Foden, drift and float past 5 players like he was Italian, like he was Roberto Baggio. He went past 4 or 5 players and took it away. And I remember sitting back when I was watching it, because I don't really watch many England games, to be fair. I sat back and I thought, God, who's this kid? And obviously, as I started following it up a bit more, I'm like, this guy plays for City. Then Pep's all of a sudden unleashed him. David Silva's retired. And what a player David Silva was, by the way. But I think Foden's got a bit of everything. And I think Pep, by playing him in this number 9 role or number 10 role, I think with Phil Foden, it's a big statement this, but I don't ever think I've seen an English player like him before. A left-footed, and don't forget, I was probably just coming into football when your Norman Whitesides, Brian Robsons, Norman Whiteside, I know he's not English, but your Brian Robsons, Chris Waddles and all these type of players. But for me personally, and I've seen some great English footballers come through the ranks, a lot of good United footballers, but I think Phil Foden is something different, and I think he's got the potential to be right up there in terms of Ballon d'Or nominations, etc. Because I just think this kid is very, very special. And I love Mason Greenwood. And I think if you had Mason Greenwood in the Man City team, he would do maybe even more incredible things, because he's a bit more direct and he's an incredible finisher. But I think Phil Foden, the way he is, the way City play, camped around that 18-yard, but I think he's perfect. I think he's a great talent. And if he keeps his feet on the ground and he behaves himself off the pitch, which people are saying, he's dedicated to his football and whatnot, I think he could be a real talent for England and Manchester City. And I am always a little bit worried if Phil Foden's playing for Manchester City. And he's a young kid. But you know what? This is another thing about Phil Foden. He doesn't actually, when you watch him play, he doesn't play as if he's a young kid, if you get what I mean. And I watched him the other night in the Champions League against Club Brugge, I think it was. He was just demanding the ball. He was going over to senior players, going, give me the ball. I could see it in him. Give me the ball. 2 or 3 guys around him. Really comfortable. And he just slotted the young kid in, Palmer, to square it. It was a great goal. And they're going to be doing that against Man United. Phil Foden is going to cause problems. And I really rate Phil very high.
I remember the game that you talked about against France, and I thought the goal was sensational. And when I look at England's gold standard in terms of football, is they had Gaza. Gaza was their football poster boy. Didn't quite flourish, but in terms of ability, in terms of that game-changing quality. And then there's Wayne Rooney. Who exploded onto seeing young, not just for his elite finishing, his work ethic, but for his quality, going past people. But yeah, I think Phil Foden, creatively, his final ball, his weighted ball, is the closest thing to a fantasista. He's probably the best talent I've seen, English player. And I was wondering whether Pep Guardiola was holding him back.
Yeah,
I remember Rio having an interview with Foden. He's asking about Pep Guardiola, and he was talking about the rhythm of the game, picking and choosing when to make the difference. And I think with a player like Phil Foden and this kind of ability, every moment he gets the ball, he can change the game. Why wait in this rhythm, or for rhythm moments, when any moment in time with his ability, he can do something? Just let the guy express himself and see where his ability takes him. That I was wondering if he was coaching some of that creativity out of him to a degree, but he's got the platform there. And with that platform of Man City, you've got a team that are going to suffocate teams and dominate teams. I actually thought Phil Foden was Man City's best player last year. I thought he was their most valuable player. De Bruyne was injured for much of it, and I know
he is class.
I know.
Can't deny that.
Well, I think he had a good goal scoring run in the Champions League. De Bruyne, obviously got injured in the final. Phil Foden, I think not just on the Champions League run with Manchester City, but I think Gundogan had a spell where he carried them for about 10 games, but I thought Foden was their best creative outlet throughout the season. Diaz, he'd come in there, the defence had showed up, but would there have been a big difference if Laporte was in there? I'm not too sure. Diaz had done well, but the Man City defence is quite protected by their style of play and the midfield. So I think Phil Foden last season was probably the most valuable player, and he's probably one of their best players right now. Whereas when I look at Mason Greenwood, I've had to question his decision making the last early parts of this season. Yeah, he's come in, he's scored some goals, he's done well, he's looked bright, but the opportunity, he could have squared it to Bruno, went for a shot on his own, and later on, we didn't get the 3 points. There's moments where Greenwood should be, the press against Liverpool that started it off. He did that high press against Liverpool. Wan-Bissaka went and followed him, and all of a sudden we're nowhere. A token press, it's not really, but is that his direction? Either way, Mason Greenwood, not too sure at this moment what I'm going to get from him week in, week out. Whereas I know what I'm going to get from Phil Foden.
What else I want to talk about as well, and I don't want to feel like I'm a bit of a Man City closet fan, but I'm really, really impressed with what Manchester City have been doing, not only on the pitch, but off the pitch. Especially since this investment's come in, and obviously under Pep Guardiola. Now, I think he's gone in there and he's revolutionised the Premiership. And I'm not telling people anything that they don't know already.
Premier League.
Premier League. I don't think they're... I don't think I'm saying anything here that people don't know already. But I just love the fact that they're playing football the right way. Not only have they got a fantastic team and the good football to watch, and it kind of says to all kids out there, that it doesn't matter how big or small you are. If you're good enough to play football, you can make it right to the top. I love that kind of.
It's passing, isn't it?
Yeah, passing and moving. It's just using your head, playing football. Arguably the right way. And what I like about City as well is the fact that they don't just sit back and do the almost that Spanish pass for the sake of passing. At least they're camped outside your 18, and then you've got these guys like Mahrez and Foden, all these players looking to attack your goal. And I think that the way that they pass and move the ball really quickly, really sharp, intricate space, it's all about spaces and movement, like you say, with the keeper as the extra man that allows them to push into spaces. And I just think that they're great at exploiting that. And I watched them against Bruges the other night in the Champions League. And the amount of times that they pass that ball into the 6-yard box and no one's near them. Because you just can't get near the players. And I just think to myself, with the way that they're set up under Guardiola, they're just a fantastic team. And I'm kind of enjoying the fact that they've not won the Champions League yet. But I just think it's a matter of time. But what I do want to say about City, what I'm most impressed by, is what they're doing off the pitch. They're doing a lot for youth and young football all around the area. They're everywhere. The coaching, the facilities, the support for the community, it's all there. And I don't see that from United, unfortunately.
Okay, but is the community there for Manchester City at the Etihad?
Right. Oh, I like where you're going with that.
Let's not get too carried away. Yeah, let's focus on, is this Solskjaer's last game in charge? Are United going to get absolutely slapped against Manchester City? Is it going to be 6-1? Worse? What are your score predictions? Do you think, is there any chance that we're going to win? Certainly can't afford for Bruno to be missing sitters at the beginning of games.
I think, honestly,
realistically now, if take away the little Ronaldo bubble,
I think it's like I'm 90% sure that City are going to win, and it's not going to be a draw. I think they're 90%. But I also think that if United are really compact and somehow we defend, which we've not done all season, but somehow if we can defend, we have got the players, if they're all on the top of the game, to execute and hurt City on the counter-attack. And believe you me, we have got the players to do it.
It is.
But it's that transition and whether we're able to do it or not, because City are very good at just pinning you in and eventually you crack. High presser, high intensity, we're lethargic, and we've not got the defenders you can play out. And they'll just play that high press. And that's the problem that we've got. And you saw that against Liverpool, and they absolutely battered us. I think Liverpool, though, with Mo Salah, are a bit more clinical in front of goal. And I think if City had that number 9, it'd be one of them games, really, that you're watching it through your fingers.
I think United are overmatched, in terms of depth, in terms of squad, in terms of tactics. But he has had positive results against them. But he's had positive results playing a counter-attacking or a high-press counter-attacking transition. And but in the big games, like, because he has won games in the league, but when it's counted in the Carabao Cups to get through to the next round, Manchester City have won, 2 years ago, last year, knocking us out both times in the Carabao Cup en route to winning it. So I'm not confident at all that United can do anything. Like I said, against Liverpool, we had a puncher's chance, but the way that they're playing, without Varane in the team, who's injured for a month, and with Maguire in the team, who seemingly can't drop because he's made him the captain, it's that element of trust, and he's one of my players. And obviously, we don't need to go back down the Maguire road, but you can't really see us stopping. Again, Mahrez down there. I mean, let me ask you, who do you think's actually a better player, Mahrez or Salah?
Oh, I think Salah's a better player. I definitely think Salah's a better player, but for Manchester City and the way they play, I know why you've asked this question. And the reason why you've asked this question is because Mahrez in this City team, he's dangerous. He is very, very dangerous. He's always a threat. And I always fear when he plays for City, because I just think our defenders in particular, Maguire, who plays on that left-hand side of the defence, and Luke Shaw, I think they both struggle against Mahrez. I think he's very good at dribbling past. 2019, I was watching the African Cup of Nations and kept tuning into Salah to see what he would do. Didn't do much. Mahrez, on the other hand, scored an absolutely incredible goal early on, and then in the semi-finals against Nigeria, scored a free kick in the 96th minute, to take them through. And Algeria won the African Cup of Nations, and he really starred in that. And I want to ask you, aside from that tournament where he outshone Salah, but has any individual had a better season than what Mahrez had at Leicester? Is that not the best individual performance the Premier League has ever seen from an individual? From an offensive point of view, defensively, they had Conte, they had the Drinkwaters, they had a team that would work hard, a structure from Ranieri, but offensively, Vardy leading the line, but all roads went through Mahrez creatively. And he elevated a Leicester team to win the Premier League. Even Salah, when he's put up 30 odd 40 goals, has he had the same type of season as Mahrez did at Leicester? Before we even get to Mahrez at City, he's been bled in like from Pep Guardiola, who doesn't need to overplay his players because he has a surplus, integrating them slowly. Obviously Salah's going to play week in, week out. Mahrez can come out for a bit, but do you actually think Salah is a better player than Mahrez? Yeah, I do.
Obviously, Salah's in wonderful form right now.
Salah's a better player than Mahrez, mate. I don't even think this one is. I know because of the Man United derby, it's a good one to look at top City players and maybe pick someone out for a special mention. I think Mahrez is that man, but if we're going to start, I don't like these comparisons, fella. I don't like them. But if you're going to compare him to Salah, hands down, it's Mohamed Salah. It is. Is he not in a great team? I don't like Liverpool. Is he not in a great team with the keys, Mohamed Salah? No, Mohamed Salah's a quality. He was a quality player at Roma and Fiorentina. He was a quality player at Chelsea. This guy has been a footballer ever since he's put on a pair of football boots. What's happened is he's gone to Liverpool, and Jurgen Klopp's like, hold on a second, this guy's an absolute legend, but I'm going to play him out wide on the right. I'm not going to ask him to track back, and I'm going to let him work his magic. I'm going to allow him to get one-on-one with a player and watch what he does. And I promise you, 9 times out of 10, Salah is unplayable. He does Messi-like things. Is he better one-on-one than Mahrez? Yeah, of course he is. No doubt. You think he's got more technical ability than Mahrez? Yeah. Oh, Mahrez has got a trick. I'll show you a trick or two. Yeah, but it's because he looks like that guy in Bloodsport. No. He can go. He can go left. He can go right. No chance. Technically, he's got more. Not having it. Well, not buying into it. Good player, but listen, I don't even want to start bigging up Liverpool players, but you threw Salah. You can't even throw Salah in the mix, hoping for me to give him a bit of negative. I can't be negative. I want to be negative. No, listen, I think he's been sensational so far this season. But like the little, the little yoga thing. Listen, who's had a better career so far? You're saying it's Salah. I just think Mahrez is Leicester. Is it not the best individual offensive performance you've seen
in your lifetime
We're
in the
going to
Premier
have
League.
to agree to disagree on this one.
Well, how good's Mahrez then to you? Obviously,
Moving over to your next point.
So, where's Mahrez though? No, okay, but
Listen,
where is he to you?
I've already told you about Mahrez. When Mahrez lines up for Manchester City, I'm worried. As a Manchester United fan, when Mahrez is lining up, I am scared. You want to hear me say it? I'm afraid, right? When I see Mahrez lining up and Phil Foden on the left-hand side, I'm afraid. But do you know what I love about Pep? Sometimes he won't play Mahrez. He'll play Bernardo Silva, and do you know what? When Bernardo Silva's playing, I'm afraid, because City have got player after player who can come on. We've not even spoke about Grealish, £100 million man.
Yeah.
They've got Grealish who can come on, who can shoot from 30 yards and turn a game on its head.
I think I'm looking at it. I think we've got a 20% chance.
Do you know what the biggest issue is with the City versus United for City? Who do they leave out? But do you know what Pep's thinking to himself and why he's probably drinking a glass of wine tonight giggling? It doesn't matter who he leaves out because they have still got the tools, the philosophy, the unity and the understanding and the style of play, which everyone keeps talking about, to absolutely roll over United.
Right, let's just say
Are we the prey here?
Who's in United's 11? Who do you pick in United's 11? Did you pick? In fact, who do we pick?
United's 11 for me. Well, you don't know because you don't know who's fit. Is Varane fit? Because if he's
no,
fit,
Varane's gone for a month.
Is Bailly fit?
Yeah.
Is Lindelof fit?
Yeah.
Right, you play a back three then.
Let's suppose they are.
You play a back. You put DDG in. You keep him in there.
It's got to keep in.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. Right. Not entirely happy, but I can understand why that goal against Atalanta went in. So don't beat yourself up about it, Dave. It was all. It's so awesome.
Maguire against.
Listen, Maguire's in. We've got no one else. I keep saying it. He's terrible, but we've got no one else. He's in there.
Bailly and Lindelof.
And then Bailly and Lindelof. That's the thing. And obviously Luke Shaw on the left and Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's.
Don't get me started on Spider-Man.
Midfield.
There was a lot of spiders out over Halloween.
Is it Fred, McTominay, and Bruno?
See, it's Manchester City. So, with that being said, you have to think a little bit more strategically. I think you need players on there who can keep the ball.
Is Donny going to get a cheeky little shout after his 5-minute cameo?
Do you know what? I think that's a good shout because what you get with Van der Beek,
he doesn't lose the ball.
Exactly, he's a possessional footballer. The issue I've got with Van der Beek is he isn't the man who's going to help us beat Manchester City. He's going to help us not get absolutely hammered, but he's not going to help us beat Manchester City. And the reason why I say that is because in order for us to have any chance of beating them, it's all about that transition. And I don't think Donny has got that quick transition in him. I think Donny slows things down in the middle of the park. I've been watching him absolutely careful. The last game he played against Atalanta when he came, I thought he was exceptional. Best game I've seen him play for.
He was high up the pitch.
He only had a couple of minutes.
We were chasing the game.
But that's the best I've seen him. Normally he gets the ball and he's going sideways. So he's going to slow us down.
No, it's away. 1 and 2 touch. He can get us out. Fred gives away the ball.
Fred does give away the ball, but you know what? Fred is underrated. He's underrated in terms of his energy, his work rate. He's a nuisance. Fred is probably, to be fair, one of the best midfielders we've got in the club because he can actually defend. So
we're saying Fred, McTominay and Bruno.
I think that's what he's going to go with. But my other sneaky shout for a possible... Well, he could use... The problem is with his midfield is we don't know his best midfield. He doesn't know his best midfield. So he tends to go with Fred and Bruno. That's his go-to. And then Cavani and Ronaldo up front.
You've got to go with Cavani.
This is where I think he's going, right? But what I think that he needs to think about carefully, if he really wants to beat City and he's really content on doing that properly, I think he needs to say, listen, Bruno, I need you to play deeper today. I need you to drop in and I need you to play deeper. And I need you to sit in there with either McTominay or Fred. Now, I think Fred, and although Scott McTominay's been good against City, and he's someone that I would be tempted to bring off the bench if the score is still reasonable, because he's got energy and he has got finish.
And Bruno can play 1 and 2 touch, as I said earlier.
But I think you put Bruno in there, you've got the energy of Fred, who gets around, breaks up play, little stibbles, little nibbles in your ankles. You know, I think his energy, his work rate is great in there. And then I'm thinking, one other player, who do I like in terms of pace? He's good on the ball. I'm playing Lingard. I think Lingard, with his pace, is the type of guy that can get in space in that
Cheeky
team.
shout, that.
I think he can get in space. And do you know why? I think both Ronaldo and Cavani can hold the ball up. So Bruno is going to be dropping a little bit deeper, right? But he's got the legs to get up and down the pitch, which Pogba hasn't. And I think Lingard's that other guy who can do it. And Fred sits as an anchor. But we're going to have to be a compact team. And them two are going to have to get in when we're defending. And I think they will. And I think Cavani will. And I think Ronaldo will. But we're in trouble though, mister.
I like that. I'm proposing you take the United job, putting Lingard in there and dropping Bruno back.
Listen, if that's the case, I might even consider getting a haircut. Another one.
So, score predictions. Does Solskjaer survive this weekend?
Right, listen. I want to keep Solskjaer. I want to keep him. Do you know why? Because if we sack Solskjaer, all the rest of the other clubs are the ones who are going to benefit from this. They're going to see Man United. He's back to square one.
I get it. But if we get beat 5-0, he's gone. He's definitely gone. He can't survive another what happened to Liverpool against Derby.
Who do they bring in?
No, I'm not going down that road.
Solskjaer.
No, I'm not going down.
Solskjaer is going nowhere till the end of the season, if he's going.
No, but we're talking about the Manchester Derby.
Ed Woodward is not going to let Solskjaer get sacked on his watch. He can't. His legacy's muddied, and this could be the best thing that he's ever done. If he can keep him, bringing Ronaldo back and all the rest of it. And do you know who else I want to give a little cheeky shout out to on Coyles Calcio Corner? Oh, yeah. On the 4th of November, 2021. Jadon Sancho. Thanks, fella. Thank you. You've won me over. Right? I'm sorry. We didn't need a right-hand-sided player, in my opinion. We needed a CDM. We needed a centre-back. Yeah, that's what I thought as a fan. And when I knew we were chasing you for 2 seasons, I just thought, I didn't even want to see what you brought to the table. I just thought, we don't need you. I thought for 100-odd million or whatever they were touting in the first place, I thought, we've got Mason Greenwood. Why would they spend that kind of money on bringing somebody in to compete with Mason in that position? I couldn't get my head around it. And then we've chased you again. We brought you in for 70 odd million. And then I've watched the Euros and you've not really featured there. And when you have, you've done okay, but nothing that makes me think, I really need him at United.
He got a minute in the final, didn't he?
Well,
he got to take a penalty, which
didn't
work out.
Listen, that missing a penalty is neither here nor there for me. You're not going to get any rubbish from me.
Out of the England squad too.
Yeah, but that's just loyalty for you there. You know, they brought these kids on. Yes, Southgate, I'm calling you out. You brought these kids on to take a penalty. You've not given them any game time. You could have given 15 minutes to Rashford and Sancho. And let me tell you something.
Andorra.
As an Italian fan.
San Marino.
You would have brought Rashford and Sancho on in that final with the legs, with the talent they've got, and they're causing problems against Chiellini and Bonucci because we haven't got the pace. We have not got the pace at the back. And Italy were playing possession football with a high press. So you can always get at us with a ball over the top. And you never went there. You played for the safe option. And you exposed them guys and you left them out to slaughter by bringing them on to set. And now to leave Sancho out. Did you not watch his performance in the last 10 minutes against Atalanta? The way he gave every single ounce of energy and sweat for the shirt. Sancho, I love that from you. And you carry on doing
putting in Cavani efforts, yeah.
And let me tell you, mister, you might see a little Sancho 25 happening.
I mean, is there any opportunity he gets a sneaky start against City, or is it? You know, do you know how I look at this Last Dance?
Where does he play in though?
Where do
you play Sancho?
I look at this Last Dance.
Do you play him instead of Lingard and play Sancho on the left of a 3? Because let me tell you something. The way United have been playing at the moment, and I'm saying this in the nicest possible way. If United go out to City with a back 4, yeah, and try and play that 5-4, that 4-5-1, we're going to get absolutely battered.
Murdered.
We're going to get absolutely murdered. So,
yeah, I mean, I don't think he can play Sancho right now. I think the performance of Harry Maguire and how United are defending, you just have to go with 5 at the back, which doesn't allow you to play Sancho. Not in Cavani's form, not with Superman, aka Michael Jordan, up front. But I look at this game, it almost feels to me, as a basketball fan as well, Lucci, it reminds me of LeBron against the Golden State Warriors. It's the greatest player on the pitch against the greatest team, and maybe, like I say, 1 in 4 times he might overcome the greatest team, but the majority of the times he's just going to get outdone, outperformed. They had more numbers than Golden State, better players across the board, And you can maybe pull off that heroic performance, every now and again, once in a blue moon, to forgive the pun. But it doesn't look good, and I would be surprised. I think United want to keep Solskjaer. I really do. It's so much better for United, and hopefully, maybe they think, do you know what? We will trust in him. We'll give him till Christmas, But I can see this being humiliating. Manchester City are capable of putting 4, 5, 6, even 7 past us. They're capable of doing it.
Listen, that's not going to happen. Don't listen. Don't not on Coyles' Calcio corner. I don't want that level of disrespect against Manchester United. I'm not having it. 6, 7, 8-0. Come on, fella. That is never going to happen. That performance against Liverpool, right, that could have just been an absolute. That was the players down in tools. We both said after that game, Solskjaer, you're dead man walking.
Well, do you know what I said about after that game?
Dead man walking.
I said after that game that
dead man walking here.
If Liverpool would have kept their foot to the ground, it could have been 8 or 9. We went down to 10 men. They took the foot completely off the gas.
Liverpool thought we'll keep the guy in the job. Who's singing ollies at the wheel?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolute decimation. That is not going to. Don't forget, we're at Old Trafford. 5, 6, 7.
That's what happened against Liverpool. And I'm saying that Manchester City, I think
that'll never happen. That should never happen.
Our Manchester City.
If it happens, Solskjaer, you are gone.
Our Manchester City. Our Manchester City better than Liverpool.
Manchester City better than Liverpool. I mean, what kind of questions are you asking?
Well, we just played Liverpool in the last home game. We've been away twice. Now we're back at home. And you've got to think that they're fully capable of getting 4 or 5 past us.
That is too broad a question. That's like that, right? Then what that needs is different levels of analysis, and obviously I'm conscious of the time. But in terms of are City better than Liverpool? City will create more. They'll dominate the game more. They'll have a lot of the ball, and they'll be camped out, I predict, round our 18-yard box for the majority of the match, unless United can get that early goal and keep a little bit of possession and get in behind on the transition. We've seen them do it before under Solskjaer, so there is possibilities that they could do it again. But Liverpool, in terms of clinical finishing, they are, for me, the best team in the Premiership. Or is it the Premier League? Sorry.
Premier League.
There you go. Right?
No, this season they have been so far. Fair.
Mo Salah in front of goal is absolutely deadly. That guy's like a ninja warrior in front of goal. Third goal against United, the way he tucked it in.
He's not more clinical than Ronaldo. I think we're...
No, listen. Again, you're talking about Ronaldo. You can't do that. You can't say, who's better, Manchester City or Liverpool, and then throw Ronaldo in.
But you just said they're the most clinical. You're saying the most clinical.
No, I said Liverpool have got the most clinical. They've got the most clinical attack in the Premiership, Premier League. Sorry, right? Because they've got Mo Salah, they've got Mane, you've got Roberto Firmino, and you've got this Diego
Firmino.
And you've got this Diego Jota in the mix. Right, these are guys that can all finish the dinners. Right, Liverpool in front of goal are deadly, and you know what? Right, they have got the numbers will speak for themselves. The numbers, and I'm sure they probably do. I've not checked the stats, not sure, but I know that that Liverpool in front of goal, they're more clinical than anyone. Now, Man City might score more goals than Liverpool. They could still score more goals than United this Saturday, although I can't see it personally. And I don't think it's because we see Manchester City as a bigger rival, because we don't. Liverpool will always be that horrible, our worst rival. The rivalry is going to be the biggest rival is going to be Liverpool because of the history and because of where the two clubs are placed. But Man City, in terms of football ability, and the fact that they're from the same city, we just can't allow them to completely embarrass us. If we lose, but we play well and we keep the score down, then Solskjaer may live to fight another day, because he's got some tough games coming up. He's got Arsenal coming up. He's got Chelsea coming up. He's got more Champions League games coming up. We could go out of the Champions League and that could be the end of Solskjaer at the end of the season. I think if we go out of the Champions League early, and I think if we lose to some of the top 4 teams heavily, and that includes City on the weekend, I think at the end of the season he's gone. They bring someone else in. But I don't think they're going to sack him mid-season, even if we get beat 5-6-0 this Saturday. That's just what I think. I think Woodward doesn't want his legacy to go out like this. So it's
well now Conte is off the market too. I mean, I just think in terms of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think the writing's on the wall in terms of the performances. You know, I don't think City have the best defence, but they don't concede a lot of goals because they usually have most of the possession. But we saw them losing last week against Crystal Palace. They do look like they've got a soft centre. They don't get tested a lot because of their system. A bit like Italy, we don't get tested a lot because we have a lot of possession. But when you do get tested, you know, there looks like there's there's cracks in there. You know, we saw Laporte getting sent off in the last game, so he's not going to be available. And I think you can get at City, but you can also get at Liverpool. It's just a fact if they turn up and they attack well against the way United are currently defending, we could be in big trouble, especially with Maguire if we can't sort things out. Again, you're going to have Mahrez, Foden, Sterling, all these players operating. I just think they're all dribblers, aren't they? They all engage. Yeah. Jack Grealish, they're all engaged. And if they find little 1-2s to pick around Maguire, you know, we could be in big trouble. And and I fear for Solskjaer, I fear for United, I fear for am I going to want to watch Match of the Day after this performance in the derby? It could be the end for Solskjaer. It could be the end for United's ambitions in the league with 3 points off City. If he does win, if he pulls it out of the hat, if he does the impossible, like when LeBron beat the Golden States 73-19, if he pulls it off, then we're level on points with City. We're still in the league and we're still in the Champions League. He's still in contact, even though we're not playing well. But if he loses and if we get humiliated, then we're way out of the league picture and we're hanging on to Champions League by a thread. And even though Conte has gone, I think it'd be time to pull the trigger. I mean, if we get beat this weekend by any margin, I think it could be time for him to go.
You bringing in though?
I don't know, but can I ask you another thing? Do you think Conte is getting top 4?
What, this season?
Yeah.
Nah.
Spurs are not good enough either.
Not this season.
He's a good coach. He can elevate them.
Next season, yeah. And I'll even put some money on it if you want.
Yeah. But not this season.
Definitely, but not this season. No chance.
Well,
you'll be lucky if you can get him in the Europa League, to be fair.
The Europa Conference League.
Yeah.
And they did sneak a result.
Listen, Conte is quality, and I tell you what, I'm going to enjoy watching Spurs. I am, because you're going to have a manager on the sideline who's passionate, and he will demand 100% for them play. Listen, one of the reasons why Conte was talented for United, and people were saying that it wasn't a good fit, he's too intense. He's too intense. He's like us. He lives, sleeps, and and whatever football. He's just all about it, and he's too intense. But the problem that you've got is 1-2 seasons of that intensity at a massive club like United. A couple of bad victories, bump, he's gone, right? And he's a hothead. But I think at Spurs, because they've never won anything, I think there's a real opportunity for them to say, do you know what? We're going to back this manager who's tried and tested, and they've got what's he called?
Paratici.
They've got him.
No. Paratici. Fabio.
Well, they've got him, haven't they?
Can I just
He's worked
say
with him before at Juve. I think it's a potential relationship, match made in heaven. And I think if he brings in some of the players that he was talking about bringing in, the likes of Barella, he knows the Italian match very well. He will shore him up, and there'll be a tough team to beat with Harry Kane.
Just on Paratici, he did sign the likes of Rabiot and Ramsey, and tried to get these little deals at a cut price or free deals, but lumbering the clubs with big wages. But he did get Pirlo and Vidal back in the day. And his biggest success story...
He can bring players in, there's no doubt about it.
His biggest success story would have to be bringing in Chiesa from Fiorentina to Juventus. So he has made some good big deals, but he is one of these wheeler and dealers. And let me tell you, if he brings Rabiot and Ramsey to Spurs, they're just going to plummet. But I fancy him to finish between 5th and 7th. What do you think? Reasonable?
Who's this? 5th and 7th.
Conte, Spurs.
I don't know. I think Europa is possible, but
Are you going lower? 8th, 9th?
I don't know. To be honest, I don't think. If I was Spurs, I'd just say to himself, he will play. He will have a committed team out this season, and they will play good football. But don't expect him to do anything until next season, and he will do something.
I'm excited to see how he manages Harry Kane. Is he going to just drop him? Is he going to put a rocket up his backside? How is he going to manage that?
Harry Kane will come out absolutely firing because he'll know that he's got an intense manager there. He'll look him in the eyes and say, "If you're not giving me 100, you're not playing." And Harry Kane's if Harry Kane is this professional that he says he is, he will turn up and he'll give 100%. And Harry Kane, I don't care what anyone says, he is quality. He's a fantastic finisher. He's a great footballer. He really is. But so far this season, he's terrible. Yeah, he is great football. He's awesome. Listen, you don't get 100 million, 110 million, 120 million pound price tag banded about unless you've got something in your locker.
Okay. I've had people telling me he's been the best striker for the last 5 years, and personally, I've been looking.
In the Prem?
No, just one of the best. I've been hearing he's one of the best strikers in the world for the last 5 years. Personally, I'm looking at. I've always said this. Even at PSG, Cavani was better. Zlatan's better. Who would you rather have in your team? You know, would you rather have Harry Kane or Cavani? Would you rather have Harry Kane or Ronaldo? Would you rather have Harry Kane or Suarez, Benzema? You know, I think there's Lewandowski. I think there's 6, 7.
Hold on. You're Conte. You've walked into Spurs. Harry Kane's in the change room. Happy days. You know Antonio Conte. Look what he did with Lukaku last season. Look what he did with Martinez.
Lukaku?
Right, this guy. he just he gets the best out of players. I've got no doubts about what he's going to do at Spurs, but I think you're going to reap the rewards, Spurs fans. So you might go on a cup run, but you will reap the rewards next season.
Last week out, 5-0. This week, what's going to be the score? I'm not really one for big score predictions, but I'm fearing the worst. Lucci, what's your score predictions?
Who are we talking? City United?
The derby, yeah. Is it the last dance? That's all I want to know. Is it the last dance, yes or no?
There's no one to bring in. It's not the last dance when you've not got a replacement lined up. What's he going to do? Put Carrick in the dugout or Mike Phelan? That's never going to happen. It's not going to happen. What's he going to do? Reach out to Gary Neville? As much as I like Gary, and I do like you, Gary, I think you're awesome. But is Gary going to come into the dugout? No, he's not.
No, in the Glaciers, though, they'll probably go for Southgate.
No chance. Not good enough.
Fearing the worst, hoping for the very best. And we do have Ronaldo. And if you've got Ronaldo on your team,
you've always got a chance.
You've always got, well, if Maguire can clean up his act.
Yeah.
But that's it for that's it for the last dance. J Coyle, J Coyle at Twitter, Owen Luciano, Coyles Calcio Corner. Subscribe, like, comment, whatever. We'll see you next time. And Forza Manchester.
Come on, United, let's do it, yeah?
Viva Ronaldo. Woo!